Good morning, boys and girls. You all ready to sing a song? Very easy song. You may have somebody here before. Welcome, welcome. I'm glad you're here with me. Did you know you're one with God for eternity? Welcome, welcome. I'm glad you're here with me. You're not a stranger anymore. Now you're family. Now we're going to help you with that. That song has a special meaning to me because in the 90s, I was at a place called the Eastern Gathering. It was in Jekyll Island, and it was for the United Centers for Spiritual Living, and we would go there and hang out. And one day, this minister, you might understand, recently went home, Reverend Patrick Pollard, and we met him there, and he said those words that I just said to you. Wouldn't it be great if every day we would say that at church? Of course, my brain said, there's a song in there. So I wrote music to Patrick Pollard's lyrics and then sang it at his church in Albuquerque when he was there many years later. So this is the welcome song, and we're going to share that with you now. Derek told me that trophy. From mine. Did you know you won with God? Did you know you won with God? For eternity. Welcome, welcome. Come on. Here with me. You're not a stranger. You're not a stranger anymore. There's no family like this family. Welcome, welcome. I'm glad you're here with me. Come on. You're here with me. Did you know that one? Did you know you're one with God? For eternity. We got you. I'm glad you are here with me. You're not a stranger. You're not a stranger to me. Not a stranger to me. And we have Reverend Edgar here today, which is the first minister that brought me into the Tribal Center when it was in a different kind of, I guess, energy at the time. It was smaller and it just keeps moving and going. So it's the best it's ever been. And okay. And now a word from our sponsor.
Give it up for Armand and Angelina. They actually started coming here before me even. Yeah, that's how long it's been. That's it. So they have seen the evolution of change.
2002 BC before she.
Yeah. So you are welcome here. You know that, right? You all know that you're welcome. So here at Center for Spiritual Living, we have a vision, a mission, and some values. And our vision, and maybe Armand and Angelina can tell us if we're on board with this, it is that we are a model center for spiritual living. As evidenced by the transformational impact we have on this spiritual community, which means everybody sitting here and folks watching at home, and then as it ripples out, right, to the larger Ocala community in Florida, and the organization that just goes on. So as people's lives here change, it means that we're doing what we set out to do. And it just keeps on rippling out, right? So we're all seeds out there in the world doing wonderful things. And our mission is to empower individuals to awaken to that power and presence that lies within and all around them. So this thing that some people call God, creator, source, whatever that is for you, it is right where you're sitting. It is in the person next to you. It is everywhere. We can't keep it out, no matter, even if we try, we don't believe it. It's always there. And so that's what we're here for. Did I say the whole thing? Yeah, there we go. I said the whole thing. And you are welcome to repeat our values with me. Number 1, spiritual growth and practice. Love, appreciation, community, freedom, creativity, health and wholeness, generosity, and financial well-being. Yes. These are the things that are important to us. We chose them as a community, and if they're important to you, then I think you're probably in the right place. And so I'm not sure what to say by introduction. I think they kind of introduced themselves. We had a wonderful concert last night. Michelle, it was so much fun. It was so much fun. And it just warms my heart. For years and years, for the first time I heard their music, I took one of their CDs home, and Grady and I listened to it every night to sleep too. So I just invite you to bring their music home with you. It is beautiful. I mean, it's just all kinds of genres. You'll have some comedy. You've got some of that just really relaxing, deep, beautiful stuff. Things that make you think, things that make you laugh, and I'm talking too much.
We have some nice consolation gifts for you backstage. Well, we're just so amazed. You know, we had not seen the new Phoenix Rising area until we saw it yesterday. And we thought we passed it. We said, that can't be it. That can't be where they are. That's some other spiritual center. And then we had to turn around and come back. And then hanging out last night after the concert, it was wonderful hanging and watching people just get together. And again, being a center, you know, it used to be church. And then it broadened kind of like more to a center, a place where you can get fed in many different ways. And now it's become the spiritual center community where people get together and really treat each other family. And one of the things that hit me last night was I can imagine our great leaders, Buddha or Jesus or any of them, doing some stuff where it was a little formal and they were sharing. And then afterwards they said, okay, anybody that wants to, let's go to Norman and Donna's house, get a little break bread and hang out and drink some wine. And sing karaoke. You know, I'm sorry, that's as spiritual as it gets right there. It's all about being fully self-expressed. And I have to share with you, I've never felt more fully self-expressed than when I bought this outfit on Amazon in 2021. I said, honey, I finally saw a pattern that reflects my brain. And she said, so what are you going to do with that? And I said, I'm going to wear it to church on Sunday. And she said, really? Yeah, something like that.
No, wear the jacket and wear black pants with it. A little calmer.
So I did that. But then I said, when we play a place that we've been to several times and we know they love us and we know they're very open-minded and accepting of all outfits, well, the whole thing. And she said, yes. I said, I know where I'm wearing it. We're going to be doing some music and some message, and we'll do a meditation, a musical meditation in the middle. But let's start with a joy song. And to me, this joy song actually expresses this album. This is a song that was inspired by the Best Exotic Marigold Hotel, and it was based on a John Lennon quote: "Everything will be okay in the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end." And to me, that is a very important message for all of us because there are so many things that are not okay in the moment that happen. You will watch, especially if you watch the news. Remember, the news is always designed to show you the things that are not okay in the moment. The news never goes, do you realize that 300 million homes were not broken into last night? They won't say that. They'll tell you what the really small number where something not okay happened. But to know that everything will be okay in the end, and to have that faith and to have that trust, that's awesome. And faith, probably you already know, this stands for feeling all right in the heart. Feeling all right in the heart doesn't mean you understand what's going on. When Angelina comes to me and she sees something politically and she tries to get an explanation, I said, you're trying to use logic again to describe this crazy stuff. Don't even try. Just have faith that it will all work out. So we hope that you will join us in saying this. We put this to a little bit of a little island beat for those of you who like that group. And this is called Okay in the End. Oh, let's get to you all the way. Invitation in the height of the flattery. Here we go now. Everything will be okay in the end. Not okay, it's not the end. Everything will be okay in the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end. Nothing in this universe will ever last. So if you're feeling low, this too shall pass. Nothing in this universe will ever last. So if you're feeling low, this too shall pass. Because everything will be okay in the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end. Everything will be okay in the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end. We gotta shut up with the body. Shut up. Even when the darkness seems to hide your way, after every night, a brand new day. Even when the darkness seems to hide your way, after every night, a brand new day. A brand new day. Everybody go count it. Everything will be okay in the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end. It will be okay in the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end. La 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 la, la 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 la. La 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 la, la 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 la. Here comes the tricky part. Even when it all just keeps on away, don't get attached, it's gonna change. Even when everything seems to go your way, no matter how many times you saw the secret, it's still gonna change. Everything will be okay at the end. It's not okay, it's not the end. Everything will be okay in the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end. 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 I can't believe what we talk about media politics. It's not the end. This weekend. Lots of enthusiasm here today. So we're going to go into a bit of a musical meditation. We'll start with a simple chant. The chant is peace I am, peace in every moment, peace in every moment, peace I am. We'll sing that a few times through. Oh, we got that. Thank you. And then I'll go into a bit of a guided music meditation. Peace I am, peace in every moment, peace in every moment, peace I am. Here, right now. Peace I am, peace in every moment, peace in every moment, peace I am. Peace I am, peace in every moment, peace in every moment, peace I am. Peace I am, peace in every moment, peace in every moment, peace I am. Peace I am, peace in every moment, peace in every moment, peace I am. Then we invite you to breathe that peace in. Truly, peace is available every moment, not just when things are going the way. quiet the mind, we can more clearly hear the voice of spirit. We actually change our brain chemistry. As we meditate, as we quiet the mind, we create a brain system that becomes more trusting. Our brains become more positive, seeing the good, more focused on the big picture. We become more connected to forgiveness of ourselves and others, and knowing that all is well. Allow the music now to take you on your very own personal sacred journey into the peace of spirit. Breathe into a moment of silence. Very gently now, bring our attention to the physical world, our physical body, this sacred sanctuary of peace and love and community. Thank you, Great Spirit, Father, Mother, God, Goddess, which identifies as all. And so it is. Amen. Amen. Aho. All is well. All is well. God is balanced. All is well. There's perfection everywhere. All is well. So,
So today our talk is called Turn the Other Cheek, and we will be talking about forgiveness and trust.
so I don't know about you, but I remember learning as a child, some of my earlier church experiences, about the Old Testament. An eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. As we know, that leaves the world toothless and blind. So then things shifted a bit where we raised our consciousness, got a little higher resolution. And in the New Testament, it said something to the effect of turn the other cheek. Now, metaphysically, I've been told that that means see things from a different side. You know, one great example, Angelina, you have a story about sitting by the pool that is a great example of turning the other cheek and seeing things differently from the way you might see them in the beginning.
Right, so you're sitting by the pool and you're with friends, excuse me, and you're drinking an iced tea and really enjoying it, and someone splashes water on you. And you get a little bothered by that, but you continue talking, and then more water is splashed on you. You're getting a little more upset about this, and then a huge thing of water, and now you're soaked. And you turn around to tell this person, stop splashing on me, and you realize it is someone drowning, and they're just trying to keep their head up and need to be saved from drowning. And all of a sudden, you shift in what you're feeling, right? No longer are you angry, you're like, oh my gosh, someone's in trouble. Let's see if we can help them.
Exactly. So turning the other cheek can be seeing things through new eyes and knowing, like the saying goes, hurt people, and seeing them as, hurting, and what Great Bear calls drowning, not filled up, and trying to get filled up, and not necessarily doing that in a loving, kind way. Okay, and so then, but I started thinking about turning the other cheek. I started thinking of it literally. Somebody slaps you on this cheek, turn the other cheek so they can slap you again, because as a codependent people pleaser type person, that's not a healthy thing. That is not a healthy thing. That is very codependent. People say, you and Angelina spend all your time together. Are you codependent? I go, no, we're connected. But is there codependency involved? Sure. Here's how you know that you healed every bit of all of your codependency on other people. You won't be healed. It's also true about other things that we have to journey. So we just keep getting better. We just keep moving. What increments are wonderful. We don't have to do it all. There's a saying in the 12-step groups, progress, not perfection. And we can progress all the time. So I started thinking about that. But first off, one of the people that really inspired me to love myself and forgive others and just to have a good attitude was Mr. Rogers. And my childhood, I just loved that guy. And we've seen two different movies about him. One of them is the documentary that is called Welcome to the Neighborhood, I believe. But then there's also a Tom Hanks biopic called A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. And they both give you a great example of how special and wonderful this man was and how ahead of his time was. And he was changing norms and being inclusive, even when the network was trying to get him to be less inclusive. He couldn't help himself. All of us, you know.
But he was also making sure that children know emotions and know how to express it. So through the puppets, he'd say, "Are you sad? And what does that feel like? Let's talk about feeling sad," so that children can understand what those emotions are and what to do.
Right. Sometimes parents don't want to be inconvenienced by their children's emotions. Just be happy. Here's some toys. Go watch TV or whatever. And he did share with you that if you're going through something, even if there's a world event that's got your family upset that's going on, you know, how to express that and how to feel those emotions and allow them to move through you so they don't get stuck in you. So at this point, I would like to do a little dedication to my hero. I know I've done this before here, but it's been a while.
It's wonderful every time.
All new people, yeah. Even the ones that have been here before, new people. It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? It's a neighborly day in this beauty wood, a neighborly day for a beauty. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor? Good morning, boys and girls. Welcome to Angelina and Armand's neighborhood. It's a special day. We woke up to a 100-year-old camphor tree today. Beautiful. 200 years old? 200 years old. It's a female. She said she don't want her age talked about today. She's wonderful. And so it's a special day for us. We are so excited to be back here. As Reverend Cindy said on Facebook, this is, we've been coming here for about 20 years. And so we're having like an anniversary. So I'd like to talk about a special phrase. And our phrase for today is, turn the other cheek. Now, I thought that maybe some of the original words that were quoted of spiritual leaders might have somehow over the years and years in different translations in different dialects and different languages, maybe they didn't come out pure. You think there's a possibility, some of that? I heard this story one time that there was a Buddhist monk and he was studying the different scriptures of Buddhism. And there was a Catholic priest also studying different scriptures of the Bible. And they started talking to each other and they said, hey, why don't we each look up the same words and see what we come up with and see if maybe there's some commonality. And they decided to pick up the word celibacy because none of them were all that happy with that. So they looked it up and all of a sudden the priest goes, oh my God, the word was celebrate.
No.
Anyway, that probably didn't happen, but this happened to me. I was thinking about turning the other cheek and thinking about the chances of being kind of a doormat if you physically do that. Okay, now we talked about the metaphysical. You can be kind of a doormat if you just let people get away with stuff. Don't set healthy boundaries. Angelina will probably talk a bit about boundaries. That's one of her favorite things. And so when you're married to me, you have to have good boundaries. Okay? Anyway, so I thought about it one day and I thought, wait a second. You can love somebody and you can forgive them without letting them continue behavior that is unacceptable. Maybe, just maybe, originally it was plural. Turn the other cheeks. You can turn the other cheeks and still be loving and still be forgiving. Okay? You can do that. You know, Marianne Williamson says, Just because you've forgiven someone doesn't mean you want to do lunch. I talk to my inner child. His name is AJ. Was my nickname when I was a kid, Armand John. And AJ will tell me if he likes people or not. And sometimes he says, well, they're not all that fun. They're kind of serious, but they're nice. And so he doesn't want to necessarily hang out with the adult Armand. But sometimes he'll say, I don't feel safe around that person. And if I go within, I can find out that they are a boundary crosser. They do not honor and respect my boundaries. And I tend to just go, well, that's okay. Well, it can be okay on the inside, but sometimes on the outside, it's not okay. So turn the other cheek and lovingly walk away can be an awesome way to take care of yourself and to forgive the other person and know that they're doing okay too. And also to set healthy boundaries.
Right. So you can forgive someone, but it doesn't mean that you won't set boundaries, as Armand said. I think you probably said, I'm going to just kind of repeat it, but also when you forgive someone, if they did something that was hurtful and the behavior is not good for you, it's okay to say, I forgive that person, but the behavior is still the same, and I'm going to keep my boundary of not hanging out with them because his behavior is not good for me.
Exactly. Let's see what else we got here. I got a few notes here.
And you do love thy neighbor, right? Easy. Love thy neighbor as thyself, right?
It's the thyself part that's going to be challenging. Right? We know how to love spirit, oneness, others, but we have a lot more ammunition on ourselves. Okay. And so, a lot of times it can boil down to choosing, am I going to be kind or am I going to be right? Now, sometimes in order to prove that you're right, it's not always kind, and you don't have to always say it. You can set some clarity in your mind. I'm not going to correct someone. We're together so much together that we tend to want to correct each other, and sometimes we're correcting each other over stuff that just really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. But being kind to yourself, I think the new frontier is self-love and being kind to ourselves. We've learned how to love others, being kind to ourselves, and self-love. So let's talk a little bit about some different steps of forgiveness.
Before you do that,
Yes.
should I?
Please.
So I'm going to talk about self-forgiveness, right? So, we are taught to forgive others and all that, but it's really important also to forgive ourselves. So, like we say we were unkind to someone or said something unloving, and so it's easy for us to make ourselves wrong and, I didn't do that, I shouldn't have said that, and or maybe you went on a TV show and it didn't quite go out, the outcome wasn't exactly what you wanted.
And maybe you went on
It
Got
was America's Got Talent, and it really was horrible, and I was sad and angry that I let that happen. I did that, and I have some blame and all that. And so that is not helpful at all. And it's okay to say, I forgive myself. I forgive myself for that. And so when you forgive yourself, you can release that and then have the freedom of getting rid of those negative thoughts that you have about the event, about the person, about yourself, how you handle that situation. And a couple ways to do that is you always be kind and compassionate with yourself. It's easy to beat yourself up and you're like, I had that self-critic. Oh, I'm a bad person. I did that wrong. I could have done better. I have that a lot. So if you could just be kind and compassionate with yourself, accept what happened, accept what you did, and learn from it. We always say we have wisdom from all those situations that we did or were in, and the wisdom is
You either do it right or you learn. So you really can't go wrong. Ram Dass has a wonderful little story about that. He says, when I'm beating myself up in my head, or I'm beating somebody else up in my head, and not being forgiving to myself or others, I invite that thought in. What do you have to tell me? And after I do, maybe they just want to express something, I show them the door. And what he says that does is it honors your human self. Because we have our spiritual self that knows everything, and we have our mental self that can get a grasp around it. But sometimes our emotional self and our physical self isn't there yet. We have a friend of ours that says, sometimes what's slow is fast. And I said, really? Slow? That sounds like an oxymoron, With forgiveness, sometimes to do it thoroughly, it takes a while. But it will get you to the point quicker than just pretending you've forgiven somebody and not really doing it. Okay. So let's talk about some stages of forgiveness. I like to think of forgiveness in 5 stages. The first stage is go within and look at what you're upset about, whether it's with yourself or another person. Look and really talk about it to yourself. Express it. Call a friend. Call a friend and talk. You don't want to take your anger and resentment out on somebody, but you might want to call a friend and talk to them about it. Say, I'm really upset about what so-and-so did, and I need to process this. And then a lot of times you'll find out that it's related to something else you haven't dealt with, or it wouldn't have hit you quite as hard. So you do your process work, like Angelina says, give yourself the time to feel it. And that process may be a little slow in the beginning, but it'll get you to true forgiveness quicker. So the next stage might be something like, I forgive that jerk for what they did to me. Now, what you're doing when you do that is you're honoring the fact that you don't really feel like it yet. Your ego does, you're just calling a person a jerk is your ego. I'll forgive that jerk. But what you're doing is you're taking the first step. You're recognizing that I don't want to carry this. I want to let go of the emotion around it. I don't believe in forgiving and forgetting. I think forgetting can set you up for challenges. But I do believe in letting go of the negative emotion around the situation so you can truly forgive. So then maybe the next stage might be, according to my teachings, everyone and myself are doing the very best we can at any given time with our current state of consciousness. It's really hard to hold a grudge against somebody that in your heart did the best they could, even if it wasn't good. Because that's just the consciousness of the energy. I used to watch a show when I was a little kid, like a Looney Tunes type show. And there was this sheepdog always protecting the sheep. And then there was this wolf always trying to get in to get the sheep. And at the end of one of the shows, they took their punch card and clocked out and went to a restaurant. And I went, so they really don't hate each other? And the message I got that I brought into my spirituality was, we're all playing our parts. We choose the sheepdogs, we choose the wolves to some extent. Our soul contracts sometimes without us even conscious of it. And then one day we're going to be in some fabulous, wonderful afterlife where we're all going to say, boy, did I play a role, and clock out of that ego. It just sort of made me realize that at a soul level, we're all one. Okay. So that would be, let's say, phase number 3. Then after you want to go in more deep forgiveness, if you want to go deeper into it, you might go into stage 4, which would be like, not only are we all doing the very best we can at any given moment with our current state of consciousness, if everything's in divine order, on some level, we must be doing the only thing. It's hard to hold on to a grudge when you think that everybody, yourself included, again, that's the hard one, is doing the best and only thing they can. That doesn't mean we can't improve. Improvement is awesome. And sometimes loving yourself right where you are can inspire improvement rather than beating yourself up for the rest of your life. Self-flagellating and all that kind of stuff. I can really do that. Angelina will say to me, if I'm beating Armand up, she says, how dare you speak that way to the man I love? That makes me cry just thinking about it, because that's the truth. That's the truth. She doesn't see what I'm seeing in that very moment. And she shines that truth on me and vice versa. How dare we beat up somebody that spirit loves this much? So then we can go into a really high level of forgiveness. Not easy. Again, I don't expect anybody to rush to this. The mind can get around this right off the bat. What I'm going to say to you right now, your brain is going to say, of course. but your body and your emotional state takes a while. And this is to thank them and myself for giving me that experience that I obviously needed. That is a tough one, to thank them and myself, the divinity of the whole process. You don't have to say that to them. You know, somebody steals your car, you don't say, just wanted to say thank you for stealing that car because I've learned how to really get my finances, whatever. You don't say that. You say that to yourself. You do, Angelina, you like to talk about burn letters.
Right. So write yourself a letter. You write a burn letter that all the things you want to say, and you just keep it in the letter. You don't ever send the letter, and you burn the letter so that the energy then.
Right. You can release that without taking it out on someone. There's several examples of that, but I would like to read something. One of the things I don't love is when people take the pulpit and they use it to self-promote. I like to read something in my book. Let's see. Okay, so this is in that section called the 5 Stages of Forgiveness. This is from Mark Twain, and Wayne Dyer is the first person I ever heard say it, but it wraps up forgiveness in a very powerful way. Forgiveness is the fragrance the violet sheds on the heel that has crushed it. We've all been crushed. We've all been crushed. And when we can forgive, we send our vibration and our fragrance out, even in the midst of that. I had a situation recently where I had known this person for a long time, and we just did not resonate and vibrate anymore. I had to set some boundaries. And I set some boundaries. And they were like, why don't you just heal the part of you that needs those boundaries so I can stay the way I am? And I said, I'm 60 years old now. I better just set some boundaries and keep figuring out a way to put up with things that aren't. And she said, well, I just don't understand. Do you dislike me? And I said, here's the deal. This is just what came out. You are a beautiful flower. Somehow I have become allergic to your pollen. And that was it. We have not spoken since. Here's how you will know that you have done all your forgiveness work. You won't be here. Forgiveness work is crucial to personal freedom. It's especially true when it comes to self-forgiveness. It's easy to understand the concept of forgiveness in our minds. We let go of judgments of ourselves and others, and we feel more at peace. So really, it's a selfful thing to do to forgive. There's an old saying, you don't want to be selfish, but you don't want to be overly unselfish because you're not taking care of yourself. The word selfful, have you all heard that word selfful? That's when you do something awesome for somebody that's also good for you. Okay. Every time we do our ministry, we're serving, but we're also serving us. It's selfful. Okay. When you do something for a friend, help them in a time of need, that is selfful. You are getting something for that. It's selfful. It works on both. Okay. Let's see where I was. I lost myself. Still, forgiveness can also be in our head and not necessarily in our hearts. We've all heard this before. Not forgiving someone is like taking poison, hoping the other person will die. Again, the brain can get those really easy. This is the heart and the body. That makes it very clear how important for our mental, emotional, and even physical health it is to practice forgiveness. True forgiveness encompasses the body and mind. I call this full body forgiveness. Remember, our spirit or true nature doesn't need to forgive or be judged. Full body forgiveness is not a thought, but a process. So I like to always say, be gentle with ourselves through the forgiveness process, because we could be forgiving. If you believe in reincarnation, does anybody not believe in reincarnation? You will in your next life. No, I'm just I'm still not from slumming beyond the nine. I was ready to say this. Healing something from past life. But guess what? We have several lives. Even if this is the only one, we have several lives in this one life. I remember when we met 23 years ago in 3 months. That's a whole different relationship. That's a whole different Armand. So we're together. I heard this story where somebody said they had been married for 60 years. I don't think we'll make it that long. But we're married for 60 years. And somebody said, how could you be married to the same man for 60 years? I've been married to like 10 men, the same guy, but 10 different versions of him. So it's never worked. And so we're all reincarnating in this lifestyle, this life, to be new people all the time. So I would like to sing a song to close the service that I wrote when I was having my deepest struggle forgiving. I'll just give you a quick story about it. This, when I was a little boy, I guess about 4, Mom left. And another mommy story, that's all we need. Mom left. And I was taken care of by a surrogate mother type person who did not want the job. My mom wasn't thrilled about the job, but this person was even less thrilled about the job. So she sort of had to take care of me and deal with me. And you probably could never get this, but I was not an easy kid. And so I was difficult. And so hurt people. Her freedom had been taken away in a lot of ways. And so she took that. And I struggled until I was about 35 years old. And then I said, if we are going to stay, because I've always said, you stick with people, you have to be loyalty. I had this insane sense of loyalty that you forgive and you make it work. Here's a big lie. You've all heard about the big lies. Your check's in the mail. I've never done this before. Those kind of big lies. But this is a big lie. If my relationship with somebody is not working, I haven't done enough. Anybody ever believe that? That lie will crush you. Sometimes you've done more than enough. And that's the time to set those boundaries. So I set these boundaries. I said, if we're going to be together, this is what I need. And they said, I can't do that. I can't do that. And I said, okay, well then we cannot be in each other's lives. We can love each other. And then I wrote this song because I wasn't there yet. This is called I Forgive You. And I wasn't there yet, but I wanted to start pre-paving. Abraham Hicks talks about pre-paving. I wanted to pre-pave the road by writing a song about what I intended to do. It was almost like a treasure map of what I intended to do. And I eventually got to that point where I was able to do that with her. And we spent some time together, but we know that we're not a match. And so we're both aware of that. We made a deal where we would sort of end our soul contract together. And it was a mutual deal. It's better when it's mutual, but sometimes it can't be mutual. Sometimes you have to do your forgiveness work after the person is going home to heaven. And you have to do it on your own. And it's still valuable. It's still valuable. I believe they hear. This is I Haunted by the times you made me cry, feeling not quite good enough, not understanding why. I blame you for the hell that I was in. Then I burned through my resentment so I could love again. I forgive you. What you do when you did those things that hurt so much, you didn't have a clue. Love needs no conditions. It's still true. I forgive you. When you know not what you do. I still have an angry thought. I don't do well with those that try to tell me what to do. But I still try to turn the other cheeks. Watch me walk away, you'll know exactly what I mean. I forgive them. That's what they do when they do those things that hurt so much. You haven't got a clue. Love needs no conditions. Always see you. I forgive them. For know not what they do. The more you give away, the more you have. Everyone's a mirror of some part of you. It could be anger, it could be love. Why not choose love? Haunted by the times I made you cry. I showed you the worst in me, not understand. We can heal together perfectly. I can be more loving, but there's one thing that I need. Please forgive me. What I do, if I do something that hurts so much, I haven't got a clue. Love needs no conditions. Always see us through. Please forgive me. For I know not what I do. Please forgive me. I forgive you. So I know we have some more wonderful things that Reverend Cindy's going to share with you. Somebody turn Cindy on.
Oh, goodness. Thank you so much, Armand and Angelina. Beautiful service and an evergreen message. I think I know we all have forgiveness. Anybody else? Yeah. Just me. Oh, thank you so much. And for doing it in such a beautiful, creative, wonderful, phenomenal way. So the next thing we're doing, I think it's time for our offering. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So this is the time that we get to share our gifts and our tithes. And, the creative process we talked about, right? What we put in the soil is what comes back to us. You don't plant carrots and get apples. So this is an opportunity for you to plant some seeds of money. Can anybody else use money? Yeah. Yes, we've got a big remodeling project at our house. It's costing a lot of money. So what that means is you give more, because the more you give, the more you receive. And so this is our affirmation, and I'm going to invite you to say it along with me as you think about what it is that you would like to give, or what you've received today, right? We can keep that reciprocal. We give and we receive, give and receive. So say it along with me. It is the nature of life to give of itself, as it is the tree's nature to bear fruit and the flower's nature to bloom. It is my nature to share the gifts of my time, talent, and treasure. I participate in the divine flow of life, giving generously and receiving abundantly. I am blessed, and I am blessing. I am grateful. How many of y'all feel that? Do you feel blessed today? I feel blessed for being in your presence this weekend, and the love and the joy of this community. I know that I'm blessed, and I'm very, very grateful for that. So our folks here, we've got the baskets that'll be going around. Pam's got prayer requests. If there's something that is weighing on your heart that you would like for our prayer team to pray on for you and know the truth about it, we will do that for you. And we have a few ways to give. You can always give cash, you can give check, you can slide using PayPal. This is a wonderful way to give. And what you do, once it's set up in your telephone, it's text to tithe. You text the amount of money that you want to give to center, and it goes right from your account to ours. It's wonderful. That number is 352-320-5110. All right. And so as you're giving, I think I'll do a little, just a little prayer. Yeah? Okay. as the basket goes around. Now, looking over at their table there again, how many albums do I have? Or CDs?
About
I'm
10
aging myself.
CDs and 2 flash drives that have 4 CDs on each of them.
Now, that's the deal right there, right? Get the CDs, or get yourself a flute. Yeah, too. Oh, the flutes are amazing, right? Yes, and they different sound. You don't have to be a great musician either.
The flutes will use you. You don't have to know anything about music. Flutes can use you.
It's beautiful. All right, so we take this moment, just turn it in. And we just know we are in the power and presence that runs in, around, and through all things, that is all abundant, that is all powerful, that is all knowing, and we are each part of that. And I'm so very, very grateful for everyone who is here today, for those who are watching at home, for the message that we've received, for the love that we've shared. And so I just give thanks for all of it, and I know that all of this good continues to multiply in the lives of each and every one. And if there is any challenge that folks came in here with, that they feel less burdened, and that maybe the seeds of truth that were planted here just continue to grow and to blossom and to bring even more joy into the lives of each and every one. And I affirm that the answer to each and every prayer request that may have been made is already answered in the mind of spirit for the highest and best for all involved. And so I give thanks for this group of beautiful people, for the light and the joy that they are in this world. And I release these words with gratitude, joy, and great expectation. So newsletter went out this weekend. Thank you, and thank where's Lori? Back there, Lori. Thank you for the design. It's absolutely beautiful. If you don't get it, please sign up on our website. Let us know so you can get the heads up on what's going on here, what's coming next. Let's see, Beyond Limits. Did that start this week? Wonderful, wonderful. Do you want to say anything? Can people still sign up or no? Okay. All right, that is one of our foundational classes. If you want to fast track it, it's 8-10 minutes. And it's on Zoom. It's on Zoom, right? So if you're at home and you can't make it to the center, you can always be part of this class online. Circle Sunday is next week. You know that every week is something different here at the center. This is Super Second Sunday, where we have a more traditional, whatever that looks like here. End of the service. But our third Sunday is Circle Conversation. So we take a topic for the month, which interestingly is creativity. And how much more creative does it get than this group, and how they deliver the message with such fun and joy. It's wonderful. So we'll talk a little bit about creativity, and then we'll break out into small groups and talk about how the creative process has impacted our lives and how we might use it more effectively and efficiently going forward. What's this? Let's see. Psychedelic Streams and Rituals with Galen. We're just sitting there. Woo, woo, woo. There's not too many centers, not just in Ocala, probably anywhere, where people are learning about psychedelic streams and rituals on a Sunday morning. It is spiritual work. It is incredible, amazing healing that happens.
Far out.
Way far out, yeah. That's all of it. And then it is followed afterward by an integration circle for anyone who has had these kinds of experiences, for folks who may be interested, for folks maybe that may have had a bad experience or a great one and just want to have a group of like-minded people who are interested to kind of debrief that experience. This would be a wonderful time. And that's led by David back there. What else do we have? Parenting class starting May 19th for our parents, for the parents, grandparents, anybody who's taking care of little folks.
And aunties and uncles and everybody who takes care of little people.
Yes, yeah. Do you want to say it?
Yes.
How awesome is it that we have amazing licensed professionals who are willing to give their time and talent? Not just people like Galen, who's a licensed mental health counselor, but we're talking about people working out there in the community. And she is actually working in social work with families right now, keeping families together. the basic thing that we all need to learn is how we can keep this light shining, not just for the little babies that we have here, but the ones that are out there as well. How we can have the right tools in place so that we're not walking as a trigger response to their behavior, that kind of. So I just think that it's for everyone because you're going to interact with the little ones. And when you do, it's nice to be able to see their light, acknowledge their light, and treat them with love.
Thank you, Donna. Would there be any type of care about the kids?
Jared, that's a good question.
Thank you, that is a good question. There won't be any babysitting available unless you bring a sitter with you for your call. We're asking you to please come, that way you can focus on the class. So if you have a little and you have a babysitting need, please come see me and that way we can try to come up with something, but we won't have littles running around every single office.
And the teacher happens to be our daughter-in-law, daughter-in-love, yes, my daughter-in-love, who is a wonderful, wonderful parent to our grandchildren, so I'll vouch for her person. This is gonna be a great class. What else? This volunteer opportunities, there are always opportunities for volunteers.
Oh,
Would you like to?
there's
say?
also the seafood boil in May. I didn't know if my mom wanted to talk about
Is
that.
there a slide?
There is not.
There is not a slide, well,
Well, last year, well, I love seafood. Last year, on my birthday, I had a seafood boil at my house. I said, let's turn this into a fundraiser for CSL. And we had shrimp and crawfish and blue crab and crab legs and potatoes, corn and eggs and just everything. And we did the fundraiser at $50 a person, all you care to eat. And we take plates home with us today, but and we raised $700 for the center of that with very little advance notice. So we're hoping to do that and then some for this year. If you want to see me for more information, we'll have a slide up next week, but it's going to be at our place at YPIR.
What's the date?
May 11th.
May 11th, and it is $50.
all right. And who was there last year? Raise your hand if you were there. It was awesome, wasn't it?
So good.
Yes, yeah. Do it again. Yeah.
Just keep on.
Anything else needs to be said?
Hi, I'm John. I'm in Galen's recovery group. And I tell you, 4 weeks I've been doing ketamine assisted therapy and miraculous. For me and other people in the room, miracles are happening back there in that room that you can't even put into words. So there's a 12-step program called Psychedelics in Recovery. It's dynamic and incredible, and I've been a part of it. I moved here from San Diego. It's mostly online, so you can go online and see the meetings, a couple a day. And what it attracted was people who are in 12-step recovery for many years, AA, and being sober and everything else, and they were still having huge issues. And so they were led to plant medicine psychedelics, and they had just amazing breakthroughs. You hear the stories in there, it just blows your mind. And so, and these are people, if you're an alcoholic, since it's do psychedelics, like, I'm sober, whatever. So these people were pretty desperate by the time I got to it. And just one miracle after another here and there. So, what I am, I've talked to Reverend Cindy, we're going to start a in-person chapter here, hopefully starting within the next few weeks. We're trying to figure out times and the format of the thing. And so I just wanted to give you a little notice about it. And so I'll tell you, if anyone is interested, it's for people who are in recovery, aren't in recovery. It's like the integration circle, and just want to know more. And you don't just talk about psychedelics. It's about life issues. A lot of times psychedelics aren't even mentioned, but it's a beautiful recovery process. And loving process. And what better place to do it with, what better loving support we have with Galen and David. So I'll keep you informed. If any, I'm thinking times now. Monday works for me. If anyone else has, really interested, and I'm open to, finalizing times, and that everything is adjustable. I'm listening.
One last thing.
Wonderful, thank you. Okay.
I am
Just
so
running the mic
sorry.
today, it's turning into a. I'm sorry, one last thing. So, I did want to mention that Ocala's clothing swap is, yeah, they're doing a treat yourself, family funding and dance party day. So that's gonna be April 27th, 1 to 8 p.m. I was actually at their other event, yes, here. I was actually at their other event yesterday and modeled for them, and it was so much fun, you guys. And I'm just so glad that we're bringing it here. And it sounds like Ocala's clothing swap is gonna be doing this more often, which is so good, because you think about how much waste is produced in the fashion industry and fashion, which is, you know, part of our society now. And just by recycling clothes and reusing clothes and tailoring clothes for you, you are doing such a big impact, helping the environment. So just think about that, how wonderful that is in the underground.
How does it work? You bring clothes you don't want anymore?
Oh, yeah, so it is a clothing swap. So you're gonna bring the clothes that you don't want, and then you can just swap clothes, I believe. But there is more stuff happening. Like I said, it's family fun, a dance party, and they have more stuff online.
What was the date?
It was April 27th at 1.
It's a Saturday.
Yep, 1 to 8. Thank you, guys. That was last Saturday of the month.
dance party.
And then the fourth, yes,
Same weekend.
that's the fourth Saturday, same weekend as Gayland and the psychedelic dreams and rituals and the integration circle. Wow, there's a lot going on here. Okay. All fun. Because we are.
Oh, volunteers.
Yes,
Volunteers.
This is, these centers out in the world. Amazing.
Yeah, that's what came up when we said we are a model center. What does that mean? And what does that look like? So we created what we wanted to experience. And here we go. And this one more thing here, volunteer opportunities. Cole is your person back there. Yes, and this is our tech team. There you go. Oh, little people, yes.
Little people.
All right, thank you, tech team. You know, we did get our flat screen TVs that we're gonna put on either side of the stage. I believe we need brackets still, and there's some other stuff that is needed. So if y'all wanna donate a little something, or if you know somebody who does that kind of work, let us know, because we'd like to get that wired up. And now it's time to honor our. Oh.
Do we not have the notes?
They're here all ready to get their blessings. Come on, Kareem. Don't fairy. This fairy wings are butterfly wings. So, yes. All right, warm up your hands. You want to send them a little love. We honor you. We see your light. May it shine on all that you do. So it is. So it is. Yes. What y'all do back there? Do you want to talk? Yeah. It's okay. You got it. It's okay. What'd you do?
Play.
Did you have a good time?
Had a good time.
Did you have a good time? He just let her wings. He's showing them off to everybody. All right. Very good. All right. Let's do something fun. Oh. And I think with that, we're in for a close.
Yes, please stand up and let's sing a song from Godspell called Day by Day. Oh, dear God, 3 things I've done. Day by day, day by day. Oh, dear God, 3 things I pray. To see thee more clearly, love thee more dearly, follow thee more dearly, day by day. Day by
day. Day by day. Oh, dear God, these things I pray. To see more clearly, nothing more clearly, nothing more clearly. Day by day. Day by day. Oh, dear God, these things I Sleeping on clearly, nothing more clearly. Sleeping on clearly, no, nothing more clearly. Nothing more clearly. Day by day, day by day, day by day, day by day, the love of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God washes over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. So it is.
That's the first being so church I've ever heard quote that fabulous thing. So y'all are a model. Just like, well, this is really helpful.
Hi. Hi. So